So the police came, this is part 5, I think, or 6, I don't know. So the police came, and as I was trying to escape, I basically held on to my bed's metal bar. It has like this metal bar, and it has these, and I held on like this with my arm. I was not going with them. So they took out a little chopstick, kind of bashed my arm, and they also tried to just release my arm from my bed. And then they said, hey, look, do you want to go in a dignified way, or do you want us to like carry you, kind of thing? They put some handcuffs on me, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll go, you know, like I'll go by myself. And you know, at this point I felt like I was being treated a bit like an animal, I think, because they were kind of holding me down, they were putting handcuffs on me, and they were saying that they'd carry me to this car if I didn't go voluntarily, and it didn't feel good, of course, but I guess that's what the law says you can do if someone's going through some sort of crisis. I don't know. I guess they thought they had to do it. Again, no blame, you know, no shame. I'm just trying to think how this is all about, what this is all about. But yeah, then they took me to a police car, and it was quite a big one. And I remember in the police car, you know, I wanted to make things a bit light. And so I was like, hey, so do you have any children? And they were like, yeah, I've got 2. And I was like, what's their names? And they're like, sorry, we can't tell you because of confidentiality, kind of thing. They were really nice guys. And they were just doing their jobs. You know, that's what they thought, again, what was best. Anyway, so I was taken to hospital. And the first night I was admitted to hospital, a doctor, you know, they took measurements, which was quite, you know, then they took me to hospital, and I just remember I was quite mad. I was mad because I could immediately sense that this hospital, it felt like some sort of lab, you know? There were people writing things up in the office, you know, they had these computers. And I did think that they were maybe, you know, my first initial reaction or thought was, are they testing drugs on us? Is that what they are trying to do? I'm not saying that is the case. It might be. It makes sense, because how else would they test certain, I don't know, combinations of drugs or high doses for, like, I don't know, paid people, do you know what I mean? But anyways, that's just a thought. I'm not saying that is the case. I don't think I have evidence to support that. I've got a lot of reasons to think that, but I don't really have the full perfect proof and evidence to support that. But that was my initial thought, and that's just what I'm trying to say. And they took measurements, like on my wrists, my weights, my heights, writing it all down. But none of them's paying me any true respect. Like, none of them's seeing me as a person. They're just seeing me as this kind of object, or some sort of another, I guess, an animal, you know? Like, I literally felt like an animal in a lab at that point. I mean, that might sound a bit too harsh and strong, but that was kind of how I was feeling. And they, you know, they weren't really smiling at me, you know, they weren't. And I was trying to interact. I was like, hey, hi, hello, how you doing? And they were just like, and they were just kind of really cutting off their kind of relationship, or what, you know, any kind of human relationship. They were just cutting it off, and there's this wall between us and them, and you felt very differentiated from these people. I remember saying, hey, look, you guys can give me food, I'll do the therapy, I'll do everything. I will do whatever, I'll do whatever you want in this hospital. But please don't give me drugs. I do not need drugs. It was the numbed feeling, the hopelessness that brought me to that point. Wasn't the pain. I don't need drugs. I really just do not want drugs, and I do not need them. And they're like, sorry, but we can't really promise that.